And the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has gone on to request Prime Minister Narendra Modi to have images of Hindu deities, Ganesha and Lakshmi, on the Indian currency. Yes, you heard that right. Now, while his divine intervention seems to have come in at the fag end of Diwali festivities, as if to counter the criticism led by the BJP on Delhi government's cracker ban, there's more to it than meets the eye. The argument that his appeal has attracted are many, from being branded bizarre to most calling out Kejriwal for taking his soft Hindutva a tad bit too far. Although, what has set the cat amongst the pigeons clearly is Kejriwal claiming in the same breath that the Aam Aadmi Party is fully prepared for the Municipal Corporation of Delhi polls and stressing that the people of the national capital would reject the BJP. He also challenges the BJP to cite one good work that it might have done in Gujarat, where it was running a government for the last 27 years. So is this another bid to take on the BJP in Gujarat, countering it with the exact same political posturing, or just another attempt by the Aam Aadmi Party to keep the eyeballs on it? And a last-ditch attempt, a poll stunt for votes. Let's take a look.
भारतीय करेंसी के ऊपर एक तरफ गांधी जी की तस्वीर है, वो वैसे ही रहनी चाहिए, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ श्री गणेश जी की और श्री लक्ष्मी जी की तस्वीर भारतीय करेंसी के ऊपर लगाई जाए।
किस प्रकार से यू टर्न किया जाता है, आज ये हमारे सामने पूर्णतः उतर के आ रहा है। जनता उस वीडियो को देखे जिसमें केजरीवाल जी कह रहे थे कि मैं तो किसी भी कीमत पे उस राम मंदिर में आराधना करने, पूजा करने नहीं जाऊंगा।
ये तो एक फेस सेविंग प्रोग्राम है अरविंद केजरीवाल जी। चूंकि इन लोगों ने इतना गाली दिलवा दिया है अपने मंत्रियों से, अपने गुजरात प्रदेश अध्यक्ष से, हिंदू देवी देवताओं को, कि अब इनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि हम कौन सा चेहरा लेके जनता के बीच में जाएं।
मुझे हैरानी है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी भारत की करेंसी पर महालक्ष्मी जी और गणेश जी की तस्वीरें लगाने का विरोध कर रही है। मुझे बहुत आश्चर्य है।
हम तो आस्तिक लोग हैं, हम ये मानते हैं कि भगवान के आशीर्वाद के बिना बड़ा काम तो छोड़िए, कोई छोटा काम भी सफल नहीं हो सकता।
So what exactly is Arvind Kejriwal's divine fix for the rupee? What all has he said today? Let's break it down for our viewers on exactly what is it that he is suggesting. Now, what he said is that the country will prosper if currency has images of Lord Ganesha and Lakshmi. That's the argument number one that has been presented by Kejriwal. Then he goes on to say that our efforts won't fructify if the gods are not blessing us. That's another argument. Clearly playing with this entire Hindutva plank that is the argument by many. He also says that he needs Almighty's blessings to stabilize the economy, and that's what is the need of the hour when it comes to the country. Also going on to say that a Muslim nation has the picture of Lord Ganesha on its currency, talking about Indonesia, and that's the example that he has quoted. And he has gone on to say that if Indonesia can do it, being a Muslim country, why not India? Another argument, when Indonesia has the image of Ganesha on its notes, why can't we? Exactly the same thing that he went on to mention, clearly hard selling it, pushing that point a tad bit too far. So the argument against Kejriwal now is that of playing appeasement politics ahead of Gujarat polls. Now, how much of water does that hold? Let's take a look at that through certain past instances and also dissecting it on the timing. Now, ahead of 2014 Lok Sabha polls, Kejriwal takes a dip in the Ganges in Varanasi. This is the image of that, of course, clearly riding on the Hindutva wave. Before 2020 Delhi polls, Kejriwal has recited the Hanuman Chalisa and also went on to visit the Hanuman temple. That was pretty much on record there. Then before the 2022 UP polls, Kejriwal went on to flag off the pilgrim train to Ayodhya, also calling for what he termed as Ram Rajya. That's what he did before UP polls. Then in the run-up to the Gujarat elections, Kejriwal went on to pray at Somnath temple, also vowed free pilgrimage to Ayodhya. That's something that he has also said on record. So all of this actually brings us to the big question that we asked today. Divine intervention, a pitch for economy, is it an advice or just appeasement? Let me take this question across to my guests who are joining me on the broadcast. Anuja Kapoor of the BJP joins me. Priyanka Kakkar of the Aam Aadmi Party is here with us on CNN News 18 today. Also, Mamta Kale and Sanjay Chadda, political analyst, are joining us on the broadcast. Mamta, in fact, Priyanka, let me begin with you. How are the gods going to be saving the economy?
Griha, good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
When we are all Indians, and when we begin anything auspicious, or we seek blessings of our gods, we seek blessings of our elders. Whether a child who's writing an exam, you will see he writes a Om or Jai Mata Di before the exam. Whether when we started the schools and hospitals, we did the Bhumi Pujan. So it is something auspicious. We're not saying this is the only measure, but everyone should be united on this. I just don't understand the opposition, especially from BJP, on the issue. And, even 2 days ago on Diwali, I think all of India would have read the Lakshmi Ganesh Ji ki Aarti, and there is the Jo koi tumko dhyata riddhi siddhi dhan pata. So I don't see where this objection from BJP is coming. And we've just said, we've made a proposition. We are writing to the PM that this be included.
Why today, Priyanka? Why today?
There is no why. Okay, we'll do. I mean, that timing cannot be questioned.
Why should it not be questioned? Everybody is questioning the timing.
Well, when is a good time? Now is a good time always.
Okay. Let me take this across to Anuja. Anuja, how do you respond to the argument that has been made by the Aam Aadmi Party?
A U-turn, anti-Hindu conversion believer, anti-nationalist, ad man, self-proclaimed, direct cash collection, corrupted, 1.5 state government is giving an advice to our Honorable Prime Minister, who has himself brought the economy of India to the
Priyanka, let her make her point.
fifth largest economy in the world after he has taken up in his tenure. And 2014 before, you have seen that it was on the 11th number. The Delhi government, look at the economy of the Delhi government from which he belongs. He has brought Delhi Jal Board to 28,000 crore. That he's brought the loan of the Delhi to 38,753 crore. Who is he talking to? He has also been talking about, understand the people who they are talking, the ones who are in Gujarat. I think the elections have not been finished. So now they are talking about, before you do anything which is auspicious, you have to speak something related to goddess and goddesses. Ask Gopal Italia, ask Rajendra Pal, Gautam, what they have done. And now they're talking about the goddess and the goddesses. They insulted the temples. They insulted goddess and goddesses.
Anuja, tell me something. There's no need to be this agitated. We have just begun the debate. Anuja, let me actually come in here. No need for the agitation. I just want to understand this one thing. If the BJP can go ahead and do it, why not the Aam Aadmi Party?
If we can do it, what about Aam Aadmi Party? I don't understand. What is the question?
I just want to understand anything which is pertaining to Hindutva, let's say, quote unquote. Why does the BJP get so rattled? I have just begun the debate. What is the need for this agitation?
Sorry, Grehaji, I am sorry to put it through. Everybody knows the mask face of Arvind Kejriwal, what he does and how he appeases the Muslims. You know that this is again an appeasement policy. As is he talking about Indonesia, a Muslim country who is having a currency.
But he's talking about putting gods and goddesses, Lakshmi and Ganesha on Indian currency. It can't be Muslim appeasement. Okay, Priyanka wants to come in. Yes,
the
Priyanka.
Goddess and the goddesses, Priyanka, have no clue.
Okay, let her respond then.
There
Let her respond.
Talking about this.
Okay, Priyanka, yes.
Talking about
Yes.
is the goddess and the goddesses
I'll-
on the
Priyanka.
currency.
Priyanka.
You'll have to mute her. You'll have to mute her. Griha, I'm telling you the reason for her agitation is that actually
spoke.
BJP,
Anuja, one second. I'll give you the time, please. Let Priyanka respond.
BJP is an anti-Hindu party जिनके मुंह पे राम और बगल में छुरा है, because on 5th July this year, the central government wrote to us, Delhi government, that they want to break 53 temples in Delhi. This after they broke 250 temples in Kashi. One of the temples
आपका
was
जो ये
250
फेस ऑफ हो
years
रहा है इस वक्त, आप
एक
इसको
second,
सुधार लीजिए.
एक second,
आप ही के
सुनिए.
मिनिस्टर गुजरात
One at a time. Our viewers would be able to hear you guys.
प्लीज अनुजा जी गुस्सा मत होइए. आपका एंटी हिंदू चेहरा दिख रहा है. गुस्सा मत होइए. आपने 250 मंदिर तोड़े काशी में शॉपिंग मॉल बनाने के लिए. You want to make a shopping mall in Varanasi? Please, you will have to mute her.
Okay. Anuja, all right. Let me come in here. Anuja, let me come in here. Let me handle this. All right. Priyanka, tell me one thing. Arvind Kejriwal, an IAS officer, goes ahead, makes a statement like this. When I heard it, I first thought it was borderlining on sarcasm, but clearly it isn't after the series of press conferences that have happened justifying this very statement that has been made by the Aam Aadmi Party chief. How does the party choose to justify it at the moment? Because putting gods and goddesses on the Indian currency note cannot go ahead and save an economy. What is it that the Aam Aadmi Party is trying to do here and right ahead of the MCD polls and more importantly, the Gujarat polls?
Griha, we are making a request. They can do this, take the suggestion and do it after the polls once. Let's not relate it with polls. Secondly, Griha, whether it is
But
the currency
unfortunately, we have to, Priyanka, because the suggestion has been made before the polls. Anuja, one second. Let her respond. Anuja, please.
Who are you?
Anuja, let me actually have Priyanka respond to my question.
Doctors are requesting you.
Let Priyanka respond to my question. Then you can please come in, Anuja. Thank you so much. Yes, Priyanka.
Thanks, Griha. Griha was saying that, Lord Ganesha features on the currency of Indonesia, which has an 85% Muslim population. There is in God we trust on the currency of US. And please do not relate this with the scientific temperament. Science and faith can go hand in hand. All of us at Aam Aadmi Party are, IRS officers or Ivy League graduates or Oxford graduates, but we all have a faith and we all believe in it. So there is no, it's just seeking blessings. And why is she so agitated?
Okay, let's not consider. I am asking you a question. You can just respond to me. All right. When we talk about the state of Gujarat, since I mentioned and I put that question to you, now the Hindu vote bank, and I'm reading out of a data, is 88.57% of the electorate. Do you think that appeasement charge that the BJP is levelling or the other opposition parties are levelling at the Aam Aadmi Party is not something that holds any water? Because clearly before the Gujarat elections, this is something that the Aam Aadmi Party has chosen to do after that massive defeat in 2017, where you lost in all the seats in Gujarat.
Priya, we can look this as in isolation, but please look at the larger picture. Aam Aadmi Party is the only party in the country which uses the taxpayers' money and sends them even on Teerth Yatras. In other parties, the CMs and the PMs, they go on Teerth Yatras on the taxpayers' money. We are the only party which has been doing...
And abuse and insult goddess and goddesses and send them to Teerth Yatra.
Madam,
look at the face of... Please,
Madam,
everybody,
you
look at the face
broke temples.
Right now.
You broke temples.
All right. Let me bring in Miss Mamta Kale here. Miss Mamta Kale, what do you make of this suggestion that has been made by the Aam Aadmi Party chief? Mamta.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show, and a very happy Bhaiya Dooj to everyone, and hello and good evening to all my fellow panelists. Coming back to your question, what do I make of this statement of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal? It is nothing but Vigyapan Rajniti once again. We all know that he is hell-bent to get at least one seat in Gujarat, which he is not getting. So now I have a serious objection of playing dirty politics, of using Hindu Sanatan Dharma by Arvind Kejriwal for his Rajniti. You know, I am a staunch Hindu, a practicing Sanatani, and I am not going to accept it come what may that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who I call very openly, clearly, a Rajnaitik or Barsati Hindu, you know, he goes and uses our deities for his political gains. I would have been very happy had he been, you know, writing letters to Honorable Prime Minister of India and requesting him to give more Ayushman Bharat Yojana to Delhi. He hasn't implemented that Ayushman Bharat Yojana in Delhi, but he won't do all of this. You tell me he is the same Arvind Kejriwal. Just now, the spokesperson of Aam Aadmi Party was saying, "Muh mein Ram, bagal mein chhuri" for Bharatiya Janata Party. Oh my God, this is called double standards. You know, he is the same Arvind Kejriwal who had said that "Main Ram Mandir mein puja karne nahi jaunga." They are the same Aam Aadmi Party leaders, be it Arvind Kejriwal or Manish Sisodia, who had serious and big objections to build Ram Lala's Mandir. They said, why don't we build a school or a hospital there? We have not forgotten the cabinet minister of Delhi who had gone on record and insulted Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh in Delhi itself. One hand, you insult our Devi Devtas, Sanatan Dharma, and on other hand, you come out with such stupid, vague things. What does Mr. Arvind Kejriwal think?
All right.
He thinks
let me bring in Mr. Sanjay Chadda.
Is there for him to use.
Mr. Chadda, you know, from opposing this entire Ram temple in Ayodhya, that's another argument that has come to fore that Ms. Kale is also making, to actually talking about Ram Raj. That is the political posturing shift that the Aam Aadmi Party has been constantly accused of. How do you respond?
Well, what I have heard Mamta ji and everybody here, I feel certainly the timings are very important. But I have a different point of view, if you allow me for 2 minutes.
Yes.
What I feel is, this suggestion which has been given, it is nothing to do with any religion. It's a culture. It is a symbol of our culture, I feel. You know, in almost every, Mamta ji will be agreeing with me and other panelists will be agreeing with me, almost in every school of this country, we see Saraswati Vandana going on. It is our culture, what I feel. What I go back to, you know, Obama used to keep a picture and of Hanumanji with him. So let us make a consensus here. Everybody should agree for such kind of things which are not related to any religion, but they are our culture, I feel. If, you know, Indonesia's example...
This is clearly a Hindu push. How is it not related to one particular religion? And why suddenly only talk about Lord Ganesha and Goddess Lakshmi in this case?
I am just telling you, just see it from a larger prospect. Just see it from this angle also. You are seeing it that it is a Hindu, this thing. Okay. Now, I would say that what is the answer to the question I put it? I said that Saraswati Vandana is there and almost all of you must have sung in the schools. Yes, we have sung it. We have. So the same way, let us have that kind of culture. We should not divide people on this count, and I really welcome if people are doing, and you know, the Hindu, this thing, all the political parties, where is the harm in it? Okay. Let us have this kind of culture across the country. Why we are opposing it, I don't know. Right. And especially, I feel BJP is opposing it because they should welcome it. BJP is opposing it with the only reason because they don't want that Hindu thing should go to somebody else.
Okay, let me actually bring Anuja here. Anuja, you know, there was a Delhi High Court order that actually ruled a PIL that was put forth, actually claiming that any sort of religious symbols embossed on the coins that are part of the Indian currency should not be done. However, the court said that it is not unconstitutional. It does not go ahead and dent the secular fabric of the country. Then what is the problem in this suggestion that has been made by Kejriwal?
Grehaji, look into this. Do you see how it goes? This is Arvind Kejriwal. See. Now the person who has taken a jhadu in his hand and look where it is coming, and the swastik.
is making it run. Do you think this comes in good taste? You all have also seen Gopal Italia, the way he was talking about the C word for the women, and then the way he was talking about the temples, and the way he was talking about goddess and goddess. I would just like to understand that before he does all these things, his state Gopal unit from up in Gujarat, that this person Gopal Italia, he spoke. Then we have also seen Rajinder Pal. We have also seen about him also talking about the goddess and goddesses and insulting him. Tell me, how does this same government is speaking this in Gujarat, and the same government is talking
converted
about
to Buddhism? How is he going ahead and insulting gods? You have to explain that point, Anuja. However, please respond to the question that I've asked you, and then I'll let Priyanka respond to these very questions and this argument that you are making. When the court has allowed it, then what is
or not?
Yes.
I'm sorry, it is not about constitutional or not. The thing which needs to be understood, how God and goddesses picture on the currency will make it more economical and will give a more of a benefit to India, where India is already reaching without the goddess and the goddesses on the currency. I think our work, our development, that needs to be taken care of instead of working on the currencies with the goddess and the goddesses.
Okay.
The problem is,
Yeah.
Neha ji, ek
Yes,
minute. The
all right.
problem is, Arvind Kejriwal takes a U-turn. He knew that the Punjab Parali and all is coming up, and we are forcing and we are exposing him. He has brought this in right now, talking about it so that we do not talk about his Parali, we do not talk about Punjab, we don't talk about his failures. This is where the problem is.
Okay. Priyanka, please respond to this argument, because this clearly, this is also part of the timing that I was also questioning. That do you think this is a preemptive measure so that BJP's counter doesn't go ahead and dent the Aam Aadmi Party after Diwali and the kind of pollution and Diwali ban on crackers that is going against the Hindu sentiment, and that's why the Aam Aadmi Party chief has gone ahead and made this argument?
I will, Griha, begin with Anujaji's, observant of the C word by Yogi Adityanath ji also. She may have missed it. Then I will also say that...
Priyanka, I believe you would agree that two wrongs don't make a right.
No,
right?
let me please finish.
Okay, yes.
Because in that video that she talks about, there was no insult to women. It was said in a different context. Let's not get into that, we'll digress.
Yeah, right.
Also one point before I get into this, Kalaji made a thing about Ayushman Bharat. We have a better policy in Delhi because Ayushman Bharat excludes anybody with a mobile and a fridge. So we've given better health facility in Delhi. That is why we didn't opt for it. One. Second, now what has happened is, see, Goddess Lakshmi and Ganeshji, they represent what? Wealth and prosperity. And it is needed. We need God's blessings at this time, because Anujaji probably is oblivious to a report of the economic advisor to the PM, which said, if today you earn 25,000 rupees in India, you are at the top 10% of the country.
Let her make a point. Anuja, she did not interrupt you. No, Anuja, she didn't interrupt you. Let her make a point, please. Some sanity here. Yes.
So this is on record, this is government data which says which talks about the huge income disparity that India has seen today. And if you earn 25,000 rupees today, you are in the top 10%. When she's speaking about economy being 11th, 6th, whatever, in 14, I recall we were 3rd.
She doesn't even know.
Yeah, okay. So all we are saying is, these are not the measures. This is not the be it and so be all. We are saying that there is a demand of the public, which our CM is raising, which is not an illegitimate demand, which we are saying
who's getting the demand? Please tell me who has brought the demand.
Priyanka, respond to the other allegation. Respond to the other allegation. Once again, Anuja, please. Respond to the other allegation. It is happening right after Diwali. It has happened right after the... Anuja, 1 second. Let me make my question, please. Let me put my question. Anuja.
Some of our god and goddesses, and they belong to such a category who are so shameless. They should understand that how things float.
Yes. All right. Anuja, I think you made your point.
How will it matter to the economy?
Let's keep it civil.
Okay.
Let's understand this.
Priyanka, you have still not answered my question. You've still not answered my question. Yeah, Anuja, please, if we have you, I would actually present that question to you, but let her respond to that very question that you have made. I am asking her the same thing. Anuja, please have some patience. You know, this coming right after Diwali, do you think this is also Aam Aadmi Party's defense? This is what is the argument that the BJP is making in the wake of the criticisms that are coming to the party right after Diwali, whether it is AQI or whether it is a cracker ban in Delhi?
You will have to give me 1 whole minute, Kriya, and make
Please.
sure Anuja ji does not interrupt me.
Please go ahead.
Now, what happens is pollution, although it seems like a Delhi issue, there are experts and there are reports on record which says 80% of India suffers from toxic air. It's a very serious issue. When it comes to Delhi, in the past 7 years, the AQI was better this time before Diwali, and in the past 5 years, the AQI was better this time after Diwali. These are on record, credible data. Now also, we have been constantly working on these issues. We've planted 33 lakh trees. We've come out with a tree transplantation policy. We've come out with an EV policy. Yesterday, we launched a bio energy plant in Asia's largest bioenergy plant in Sangrur. So it will again divert the topic. I can give you a lot of information on things we have done. And I can assure you it was the result of the Aam Aadmi Party's measures in Punjab and Delhi, setting up a war room, the Parali incidents reduced to 1/3.
Priyaji, let me tell her, you have paid money to the people.
Can we let her respond? Anuja, please. All right.
I don't.
This is what that it is a very poor.
Can you be a little subdued? Try to
in this
keep
country,
it.
and because of you are paying an ad. Like New York Times.
Anuja, I don't understand this one fact. She is responding to your very questions. She is responding to your very questions. And the data that she is mentioning is out there for everybody to see. The AQI has improved, and that is the truth. That you cannot negate that. Let me actually put your second question. Anuja, one second. Let me handle the debate, please. No. I'll not allow this. Anuja, I won't allow this. She has not interrupted you. Ma'am, please have the respect for other members of the panel as well. Priyanka, the other argument is that the Aam Aadmi Party chief has in fact gone ahead for this Hindu appeasement in the wake of the dent that has been made by leaders like Mr. Gopal Atalia and Mr. Rajendra Gautam. How do you respond to that?
Kriya, that's a false argument. Like I said, it is a very well-known fact that Arvind Kejriwal ji is a very big Hanuman Bhakt. Everyone knows that. We also know that Arvind Kejriwal ji, which argument I made earlier, we have started this Buzurgo Ko Teerth Yatra scheme, which no other government does to date. So we've been constantly working we've been constantly doing this thing. And like I said, scientific temperament and faith can walk together. And that is what we're doing. So we've made a suggestion. I don't see why BJP is not accepting this. I mean, Lakshmi ji and Ganesh ji are regarded as symbols of wealth and prosperity. And 2 days ago, hum sab ne padha. What is BJP's objection? Are they not satisfied by breaking 250 temples in Kashi and breaking a shopping mall?
Don't play drama on record. That is what BJP is talking about. Don't you insult goddess and goddesses and then and talking about it on the paper.
All right, Anuja, since you want to so badly come in. One second, Priyanka. Okay.
We are already on the 5th place. We will come in some many years. It's on the 3rd number. We don't need goddess and goddesses on the paper. It is our heart. We pray them. What have you done?
Okay, Anuja. All right, Anuja. The point that you're making, and I'll go back to my earlier argument. Why does the BJP think, and this is the charge against the BJP, Anuja, I'd want you to answer this alone. Why does the BJP actually get very rattled? This was an argument that many people have found very bizarre. This is by the Aam Aadmi Party. BJP being so rattled because it is borderline Hindutva. Why does it happen? Is this only BJP's prerogative to actually talk about Hindutva? And considering we're also talking about elections in Gujarat, do you think you actually see Aam Aadmi Party as a credible opposition, and that's why this sort of a response coming in from the BJP?
I think you very well know that BJP is not trying to Hellenize Hindu or talking about it that Hindu it belongs to BJP, I'm sorry, or to RSS. We are just talking about this, that don't play a fake picture. Be what you are. If you are anti-Hindu because your acts show that during
I'm
Kashmiri
really
Pandits,
afraid
you
I'd
were
have to
laughing,
leave it at that.
doing
I'm really
things.
sorry,
So
Mamta
that
and
is-
Sanjay. We'll just take one final argument from Mamta and Sanjay, just wrapping points. Quickly, please. Mamta, what do you actually make of where this is headed? Do you think this has become an indefensible argument for the Aam Aadmi Party? And Sanjay, you are next.
See, it is absolutely sad, and I take objection to it being a practicing Sanatani that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has the habit of ridiculing, insulting Sanatan Dharma and using our Devi Devtas for his political gain. He is only and completely doing the politics of appeasement. Point number one. Point number two. I just want to say one thing which Priyanka ji had mentioned just now, that they don't want to implement Ayushman Bharat Yojana in Delhi because they have a better Yojana.
All right.
First of all, there is no such
I really
Yojana.
don't have time. Sanjay, appeasement politics, please respond.
Two things. One is, what is law says on this? I'm a lawyer, I will say so. Our law says that you have mentioned about that Delhi judgment, Delhi High Court judgment. Our law says that you should not insult or, we should give respect to each and every religion. Where is a disrespect in this statement? That's what my contention is. No doubt about it, that certainly, if you see it from the individual person, as an individual person, it's a politically motivated also. No doubt about it. I'm being very, very candid on it.
Okay,
so
all
it is
right.
a
Politically motivated is the argument, Priyanka, that is out there on the table. This clearly seems like a poll plank that the Aam Aadmi Party is choosing to ride on right before the Gujarat polls. Again, a direct question that I'm pointing to you. Please respond.
Griha, we can implement this on 9th December after the polls
There's no
are
point
over,
in implementation. It has been proposed. And we will go on in circles if you actually choose to respond to that question in the similar fashion.
Same way she is responding.
Griha, when is a good time?
Okay.
Please tell me.
The timing is something that I'm questioning. Why was the
When is a
proposal
good
made
time?
today? Why was the
When is a
proposal
good
made?
time?
He has already set the cat amongst the pigeons, has he not?
When will it not be questioned, Griha?
Okay, all right, we'll leave it at that. Priyanka, thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to also thank my other panelists. I'm really sorry, I am very, very short on time, but something that is coming out of this debate. Has Arvind Kejriwal actually made a proposal and in turn made an argument that probably has not been well defended by his own party? That is a question that is laid bare over here. We'd let our viewers actually deliberate on that as we shift our focus to the next debate on the broadcast. As there is no end to the full-blown war between the Kerala government and the Governor Arif Mohammad Khan. In the latest, Khan has written a letter to Pinarayi Vijayan seeking action against the finance minister in the state, Mr. K.N. Balgopal. The governor alleged that Balgopal delivered a speech on October 19th and tried to stoke a fire of regionalism and provincialism, undermining the unity of the country, further asking Pinarayi Vijayan to take action against his minister. In no time, the Kerala Chief Minister wrote back to the governor saying that there is nothing democratically and constitutionally wrong in Balgopal's statement. In the letter, Vijayan also said that he completely backs and trusts his minister. Without mincing words, Kerala Chief Minister said that he won't be taking any action against the Finance Minister, Balagopal. Now, this latest flashpoint has a volatile backdrop. Remember, the Kerala governor had issued a show-cause notice, in fact, notices to the vice-chancellor of 11 Kerala universities, claiming that their appointments will be in alleged violation of the University Grants Commission regulation. In fact, they are. That is what the claim that was made. The Raj Bhavan action also came after the Supreme Court, in fact, judgment that had annulled the appointment of MS Rajeshri as the Vice-Chancellor of APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, while clearly mentioning that the UGC regulations have been adopted by Kerala in the year 2010. The court further went on to say that the search committee constituted by the state should have recommended a panel of not less than 3 suitable people among eminent people in the field of engineering or science to the Chancellor, but instead it sent only one name. Now, what has all this led to? there is a growing chorus to ensure chancellorship doesn't involve an overarching role in universities. This recommendation for trimming the chancellor's power has been made by the Kerala State University Law Reforms Commission. The panel has called for divesting the chancellor's legal powers and entrusting a university tribunal chaired by a sitting or former judge of the Supreme Court or the High Court with such authority. In fact, CNN News 18 also had an exclusive conversation with the Kerala governor on this varsity war. Let's listen into what he had to say.
Words which have been used by Honorable Supreme Court are void ab initio. From day one, your appointment is illegal. The only thing that I am doing is to apply the law as laid down by Honorable Supreme Court. Actually, out of 15 universities, 12 appointments were not only irregular in terms of UGC regulation, but they were totally illegal.
Now that brings us to the big question. Now, Pinarayi Vijayan government versus the governor. Who is crossing the line? And that's the question that we are putting before our panel. Tom Vadakan of the BJP is joining me on the broadcast. Also joining me is Sunit Chopra, the leader of the CPIM. And also on the broadcast with us is Mr. Kanak Gupta, who's an educationalist. Mr. Gupta, I take this to you first. Where do you see education getting impacted in this war of words between the government and the governor in the state?
Thank you for having me as part of this discussion. Well, ultimately, we have to look at the student at the center of the teaching learning process. We'd like to have the teachers upskilled at our universities, our colleges, and our schools. And somewhere, a lot of suffering would happen to the teachers and the students. But I'm confident that we'll come out of this at Kerala, and I've been following the news since the last few days, and I'm confident there will be some resolution. 3rd of November is the date given now by the court. I am confident we'll be able to come out of it.
All right, Mr. Chopra, why this blocking of the governor? Why is this continuing in Kerala?
You see, the main thing we have to understand is that constitutionally, education is something which is both of the center and the state. It is, in fact, something that has to be worked out by the center and the state. But unfortunately, the governor, who is only the visitor, has gone ahead and done this, which is a complete chaotic situation that has arisen for nothing.
Mr. Chopra, you are only underlining the very point that Mr. Khan is making. He doesn't want to be a rubber stamp, and you are just saying that it is a ceremonial position. He has to actually be the visitor, be the guest.
The point is, I am not saying whether he wants to be a rubber stamp or not a rubber stamp.
You're saying
that's
he is?
Not up to him.
Okay, all right.
No, that's not up to him.
Okay.
I am saying that, in fact, this is in the concurrent list. So you have to go with the Constitution. If one leg of the Constitution, that is the law, kicks the other leg of the Constitution, that is the Constitution itself, then you are actually weakening Indian democracy in the interest of sectarian elements, which is what he is doing.
Okay. Mr. Vadakan, that is the argument against Mr. Arif Mohammad Khan, that he is misusing his chancellorship. Please respond.
Well, it's a very strange situation, Griha. Essentially, because all over India, it is for the state university, the appointment is done by the chancellor.
Yeah.
Now, the state government decides that this is going to be a recruitment center for the leftists. I think that is unfortunate. And the UGC norms are clear, whether it is...
Let him respond,
yes.
please.
There is no such thing.
One second.
Comrade,
this is
I'll give you
actually
time.
misrepresenting the fact.
Mr. Chopra, let him respond. He has not said a word when you were talking. Please. Yes.
Comrade, give me the time. Give me the time. Be patient.
Please go ahead.
Now, this is the norm, whether it's Delhi University, State University, the Chancellor is responsible for the appointment. Now, the issue has gone up to the Supreme Court. Has gone up to the Supreme Court, comrade. It's not just Kerala government. And the Supreme Court has said the due processes have not been followed. And what the governor, comrade, is saying is, my God, I am the governor here, and if I as a chancellor will not uphold the law of the land, what am I doing here? And I think it is justified, because essentially...
Mr. Vadakkan, let me actually bring you to note this point. When it comes to the UGC guideline, let me read out of it. The visitor or the chancellor shall appoint the vice-chancellor out of the panel of names that have been recommended by the search committee. So he has to work on the recommendation. He's not responsible for the appointment.
Greha, there has to be a choice where a selection can be done. I send Greha's name and I say, well, you
let
know,
him respond, please, Mr. Chopra, please. Yes.
I send one name. I say take your name, Greha, and I send your name. I mean, the chancellor is left with no option, and that is precisely what the Supreme Court has also said. You send the three names, and a selection process can happen. This is what is happening across the country.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Chopra, please respond now. How do you take this argument? Because this clearly has been said by the court as well. Why, instead of more than three names, only one name being recommended?
The court is only one leg of our constitution.
I'm talking about the UGC guidelines. Please respond to this first.
The concurrent list is the major element of the constitution.
Why only one name, sir?
And you cannot violate the constitution of India and simply... Why not? They have a law in Kerala that allows them this. Why not? Why not? And if the governor wants a certain change, let him speak to the ministers concerned.
The governor is not wanting a change. It's actually mentioned and listed out in the UGC guidelines, sir. I just read it out for you. And this is what has been actually annulled by the court.
Did not say that one person cannot be there.
It's
they did not say that
it said more than three. It's pretty much there. It underlines more than three. That's what the guidelines say. More than three.
The point is, it does, whatever the guideline says, the governor has to go to the chief minister and discuss the matter through. It is the duty of the governor not to have one pillar of the constitution kick another pillar so that the constitution itself falls flat. We cannot allow democracy to die in India today.
Okay, Mr. Vadakkan, you know, this latest flashpoint that I began this debate with, asking for the finance minister's removal, is it taking this a tad bit too far in this war between the government and the governor? Why did the governor have to go ahead and do it?
Well, Graham, let's look at it this way. When a minister, honorable minister, speaks against certain states, makes remarks, and the governor is just to watch and praise him, he has written to the chief minister. He has not acted yet. He has written to that he withdraws his pleasure. Let him act. Then we can come into the...
He's written back. He's written back. He's written back, and he said that he's not going to take any action.
Then the matter ends. The matter ends if that is the case. The point here is the governor is not acting. Where is the controversy? He has made a point that the honorable minister went and spoke, and then he has taken objection to it. He has a right as a citizen of India. He has a right as a governor to show his displeasure, and that is what he has done. And why are the leftists jumping? I don't know. The comrade here will now say democracy is funeral, but they are the undertakers of democracy. The undertakers are the ones who conduct funeral. So please tell them not to be an undertaker to conduct
the funeral of democracy is being undertaken by your particular party.
Okay, let me get in Mr. Kanak Gupta back.
And
Mr.
therefore,
Gupta,
it
Mr.
is
Gupta,
obvious.
all right, Mr. Chopra, let me actually ask this question of Mr. Gupta. Mr. Gupta, you are in education. We are talking about the derailment of education also in a sense in the state of Kerala. When out of 13 odd universities, 11 of them, the vice-chancellors of those universities are sent a show cause by the guardian of the VCs. You know, where do you see this actually going? And when we talk about these UGC guidelines, how effective and how to the T are they actually followed by the educational institutes?
So, as far as I'm concerned, the UGC guidelines and, whatever the Supreme Court or the High Courts have directed us, you can express your pleasure or displeasure about it. I don't think that they are wrong in any manner. You need to follow them. I think UGC guidelines need to be followed, which is very important. Governor is the chancellor of the universities, and governor has the power, has the authority to remove vice chancellors for procedure, financial misconduct, or any gross malpractice that they may find. They can ask questions. They have that right to do that. From what I understand, that this has been going on where the governor has asked for nomination from the state government, because the state government has to give a panel that will nominate people. From what I understand, that is what the clarification is required about, and 3rd November is what we are looking forward to. The students will suffer, the teachers will suffer. I do feel that education being the driver of most of the things in our country, we'll need to be a little more considerate. Look, I understand that there is question mark about the short notice period, but I don't know, and I might not be completely right about it also, but I don't think that there are procedural problems as of now. But there's a question being asked about the intent, which I do not want to comment about. There's a question being asked about the short notice period, but I don't think procedure is a question over here.
Okay.
UGC regulation is very, very clear. I think that needs to be followed as well.
Okay. So when we talk about UGC regulations, Mr. Chopra, and we talk about the annulment of the vice-chancellorship of Ms. Rajashri in this case, that was the main point of contention between the governor and the government in the state. Because here we are talking about the private secretary of the chief minister of the state here. How do you actually rule out that entire argument of favoritism and these posts being given on the basis of that?
It's not a question of favoritism. It's a question of a decision of a government. And therefore, the chancellor of the universities should not have had this drama of 9 people in one go, then attack on the minister. I mean, what is all this? Are we living in some banana republic? And our chancellor is in fact behaving like the ruler of a banana republic.
Okay.
And it is tragic.
Mr. Varakan, please
And he
respond
should
to
not do
that. This
He should be
ornamental
diplomatic
position
and
of
sensible
the governor.
and respect the students and their rights.
Okay, all right. So this ornamental position of the governor, do you think this is an attempt by Mr. Arif Mohammad Khan to actually seek more relevance than just that? And because of which this flashpoint refuses to die down?
Well, I think everything was honky-dory till this vice-chancellor's appointment. There was the cordiality, the relation between the chief minister and the governor was worth mentioning. Whenever the chief minister called on the governor, their equation, their body language was excellent. Now there is an issue that has come up. There is a Supreme Court ruling on the matter. You expect the constitutional head of Kerala to just say, well, I have a good equation with the chief minister. I should not interfere in these matters. They want one person to be appointed, so be it. That's not what the Constitution says. He is somebody who has to safeguard the Constitution.
But going ahead and giving show cause notices to 11 vice-chancellors is really not a step in that direction, don't you think, Mr. Varakan?
When the situation in the 11 universities or 12 universities are the same and the procedures followed are the same,
It's not the same.
Okay.
No
Yes,
two universities are the same. Do not
they have
talk
only
in the
sent
air.
They have only sent one name, and if that is the situation, what Graha should be done? if the guardian of the constitution is
He
in
should
the
call the
state.
chief minister and talk to him.
Okay, I was really
He has
hoping,
good
I
enough
was
relations
really
with the
hoping
chief minister
that for the
himself.
sake of
Let him
education,
call
for
the
the
chief
sake of
minister and talk to
education,
him.
gentlemen, let me make this finishing argument. I was really hoping that we would be actually able to come to some sort of a consensus for the sake of education. But clearly, this flashpoint remains with the arguments that are coming to fore. We can only actually see where this goes from here on. Now that these show cause notices have been sent to the 11 vice-chancellors, where does the matter really move from here on is something that only time can tell. Unfortunately so, it is the derailment of education and at the cost of the education of the very children in these universities in the state of Kerala.
And it's the education of the best educated state.
I'll leave it at that. I'd like to thank all my guests for joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching this debate, and we'll join you on the other side as there's more on Plain Speak.
Can't aspire for the top job argument is that Rishi Sunak's extraordinary political journey has been reduced to the fact that he's a minority candidate. That's the greatest, gravest, most unfair thing that you can say to him and of his career, because look at the schools he went to. He's gone to Oxford, he's gone to Stanford, he had a shining career as an investment banker, gave all that up, came to England at the age of 35 to run for Member of Parliament, won his first election, and in 7 years in public life, he's gone from MP to PM. I mean, if this is not a story of merit, then I don't know what it is.
Yes, very, very true that Rishi Sunak is totally become Prime Minister of UK is on the basis of merit. Due to his good work as a finance minister, he did at the time of Corona. He did give subsidies to the industries of UK as well as to the local peoples. He became very famous at the time of as a finance minister, and he became the prime minister on the basis of merit due to the Lisa failed to run the government within 45 days. He's incapable of managing the economy of this Britain. That is why he resigned from 45 days. This clearly shows that Rishi Sunak is an example of merit.
Okay, Kailash Adhikari, come back to the argument that the likes of Mr. Tharoor and Mr. Chidambaram were making. I've got a list of candidates from minority communities who've gone on to be or occupy highest offices in this country. Manmohan Singh, like I said, was a Sikh Prime Minister. Currently, we have a tribal woman president, the first ever. We had APJ Abdul Kalam as a Muslim president. Zakir Hussain was a president who was also from the Muslim community. So was Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed. Gyani Zail Singh was a Sardar. He, again, a minority candidate, went on to become president. We've had chief justices who were from the minority community. We've had, other eminent folks who've occupied constitutional offices from the minority communities. So, to say that people from minority communities cannot aspire for high office in this country belies all the names that I just read out.
Absolutely, Zaka. It's there is a very famous saying in English, an empty mind is a devil's workshop. And I believe that it strictly applies to the opposition here. They are completely devoid of any argument. They're completely devoid of any content, and they're completely devoid of any merit. And to the long list that you just mentioned, I'd like to add the name of Hamid Ansari ji also. He was Vice President of India. So to say that just because someone belongs to a minority community, that too, whether a Muslim or Christian, and he cannot aspire for the top job in this country, is absolutely wrong. You're just not only belying the people who have gone to those top jobs, and you are also insulting to all those aspirants who tomorrow can become, they can occupy the top job. And also, I don't find merit in this argument that if in UK, if a person of the minority community can become in India also. Zaka, political landscapes are very different. Prior to 2014 in this country, so much of minority appeasement was done that which is not found rather in the West. So such kind of comparisons are completely bizarre. And today is a day where we all as Indians, should be proud of the fact that a person of the Indian origin has occupied the top job of the United Kingdom. And this places on record so much of trust that both the countries diplomatically and bilaterally can now gain. We should not forget that there is an FTA agreement, free trade agreement on the table, which our Commerce Minister as well as the Commerce Ministry is trying to pursue. We see light and hope that this may go through in the history of both the countries. And here is our opposition just trying, whiling away their time in talks which have no base at all.
Kapil Madan, let me start with you first. When Mr. Chidambaram, Mr. Tharoor say that will this happen in India where a person from a minority community can aspire to the top job, why are they discounting the fact that Manmohan Singh, a Sikh, was Prime Minister for 10 years from the Congress Party? Why are they discounting that APJ Abdul Kalam was a Muslim and President of India, the first citizen, for 5 years? There have been numerous instances of presidents who've come from the minority community or prime ministers come from the minority community. So it's not like, Britain needs to show India the way or anything of that sort, as has been presented or made the case by the likes of Mr. Chidambaram and Mr. Tharoor.
Zaka, I think we're talking about the times where you have 0 member of parliament in Lok Sabha from the incumbent government, from the BJP. We're talking about the time when you have 0 cabinet minister from Muslim community in the Council of Ministers. And this has been said in that backdrop because now, I mean, this is not the BJP of Atalji. This is the BJP of Narendra Modi, which is driving and thriving on massive polarization. It does not even require any kind of indication that the BJP strives and thrives on polarization. Now but
Kapil, is your point that minority community candidates just can't aspire for high constitutional offices in this country because the BJP can turn around?
Welcome back. This is Plain Speak with me, Griha. Let's now take a look at some of the other top 10 stories doing the rounds all across the country and the world now. An argument over parking space in Ghaziabad led to a roadside murder of a 35-year-old man last night. The bone-chilling video of the crime has now gone viral on social media. Delhi LG has allowed holding Chhath Puja at designated ghats on the Yamuna and urged Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal to ensure clean ghats and water for devotees. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge took charge as the Congress President today, and Kharge defeated Congress MP Shashi Tharoor by securing over 7,897 votes in the Congress presidential election race. He is, remember, the first non-Gandhi leader in 24 years to assume office. Amid the ongoing political controversy regarding India-origin Rishi Sunak taking on the role of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi now has expressed his wish of a hijab-clad girl to become the Indian Prime Minister one day. Meanwhile, the BJP has hit back at Owaisi, saying that he should first make hijab-wearing girl the president of his own party. A new face-off has erupted between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress over NCC funds. BJP has slammed the Mamta-led government, saying that the TMC chief is ruining institutions and destroying careers of the young. Meanwhile, the TMC has hit back, saying that BJP should not be bothered about funds and the centre should release money on various schemes that they have withheld so far. Security forces foiled an infiltration bid by terrorists along the line of control in the Kupwara district in Jammu and Kashmir. Armed forces killed one foreign terrorist during this operation. There was an exchange of fire between two sides at the Sutpora in Karna sector along the line of control. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has recommended a probe in the Coimbatore cylinder blast case. This decision has come after the Tamil Nadu BJP chief Annamalai had accused the state government of not taking any actions against the alleged terrorist attack in Coimbatore. Stalin, remember, has sent a letter to the NIA to ensure the safety of the state during the investigation. Ireland beat England by 5 runs in a rain-affected game in Melbourne. After 11 years, Ireland again upset England by a famous victory today. Ireland, in fact, set a target of 158 runs. In reply, England were reduced to 105 for the fall of 5 wickets when the rain interrupted the match. Sports brand Adidas has terminated its partnership with rapper Kanye West, who's popularly known as Ye now, over his anti-Semitic comments. This move is estimated to impact its bottom line by $246 million. The company, in fact, put a strong message saying that they shall not tolerate any form of hate speech being propagated and that West's recent actions have been highly unacceptable, hateful and dangerous, also violating the company's policies of inclusion. As Russia continues its invasion in Ukraine, President Vladimir Putin oversaw annual nuclear exercises by Russia's strategic nuclear forces. Ballistic and cruise missiles were launched in Far East and Arctic, the Kremlin went on to say. Now, today is the 40th day after Iran's Mahsa Amini's death, and tens of thousands of protesters have staged a walk towards her gravesite after the government, in fact, shut all the roads in Saqqez, which is Amini's hometown. As we say goodbye tonight, we are leaving you with these visuals.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here at CNN News 18. You're watching The Right Stand with me, Ridhima Bhatnagar. Now, there is no denying the fact that the Indian rupee